But yeah, we're happy to have you today. Just a few housekeeping rules. Keep yourself muted, but feel free to put questions in the chat. Katie and I will keep an eye out for those questions. But like I said, I have Katie Rains here with me. She's a recruiter and career coach on our team. To get started, I wanted to speak a little bit about Apprenticely if you're unfamiliar with us. We offer a few different programs depending on where someone is at in their career journey. So our Reskill program is completely free and provides online self-paced training in different areas such as IT, support, IT, cybersecurity, data analytics. It really helps to build those foundational skills that open up doors to a variety of tech careers. Now that is primarily IT focused. However, stay tuned because we are working on expanding into other industries. We also offer career coaching services, things like resume reviews, LinkedIn optimization, and interview coaching to help our learners feel confident and prepared for their job search. In addition to the training and coaching, we partner with employers to provide two types of workforce opportunities. You can see it's the work-based learning internships and our registered apprenticeship program. Now, work-based learning is more of a temporary basis, so it's 3 months in length. But it is a paid learning experience that helps participants apply their skills to real world settings. And then our registered apprenticeships are more of that long-term, full-time position that helps to provide paid employment. You have a structured mentorship program, and you're receiving on-the-job training while you're working. And then I always like to mention, it's important to note that Apprenticely connects candidates to these opportunities, but we are not a staffing agency, so we cannot guarantee employment, but our role is to serve as a liaison between candidates and employers to help facilitate introductions, to support both sides throughout that process. Ultimately, the hiring decisions are made by the employer, but we are here to help open doors where we can. To get started, I want to talk a little bit about, this question. If you were to meet your perfect employer today, what would you say in those first 30 seconds? How would you pitch yourself to someone new that has the potential to hire you in your next role? When meeting someone new, you only get one first impression, one chance at a first impression. So it's important to practice your response and have it ready to go. So whether it's a networking event, a formal interview, or even a chance meeting at a wedding or at a social event, having that elevator pitch ready to go when you meet that someone that could hire you, you want to use that elevator pitch to create a lasting impression. Interviews can be a very daunting experience. It's hard to convey all of your experience and your work history into a quick response. So to take advantage of the time you have in front of somebody, consider turning those work experiences into stories that you can tell. So when you're competing against other qualified candidates, interviews are crucial to setting yourself apart. These stories make you relatable and credible. So storytelling not only creates a lasting impression, but it works to build a connection with the interviewer. And through that, we use that elevator pitch to get us started. So my co-host, Katie Rain, she's going to walk us through understanding what an elevator pitch is and how to apply it.
Thanks, Katie. Okay, so let's talk about elevator pitches. And this is super cheesy, but you don't actually have to be in an elevator for this to work. So an elevator pitch really is going to be that quick and powerful intro. It's, who you are, what you do, or maybe it's what you want to do, and why all that matters. It's not your whole resume or your life story. Think of it more like a movie trailer for your professional story. It's something that is, short, attention grabbing, and it leaves people wanting to know more. The best pitches don't sound robotic or rehearsed. Really, they sound like, those short stories, something that's going to be real, human, memorable. But this is going to be your chance to show how you think, what you care about, and what makes you stand out. So here's what we are going to do today. We're going to break it down together, Keep it simple, sprinkle in a little bit of storytelling magic, and by the end, you're going to have a pitch that you can actually use, and you're going to feel good about saying it out loud. So let's break it down into something that is super simple, just a three-part formula that you can actually remember. Part one, just start with who you are. This is going to be your quick intro. So your name, what do you do right now, or maybe what you've done most recently, and your area of focus. Part two, this is going to be the part where you talk about what you do best. So this is your humble brag moment. I want you to think about your strengths, your skill sets, or maybe something that you're proud of. Just one or two sentences though that kind of show what makes you stand out amongst the crowd. And then part three, this is where you're going to share what you're looking for or where you're headed next. This is where you want to be specific. What kind of role, industry, or mission gets you excited? What do you want people to remember about you when this conversation ends? Now, by the time that you put these three parts together, you're going to have a clear and authentic pitch that feels like you. This isn't really a script that you're trying to memorize. So, which would you choose of these? Let's really think about this. The tell me about yourself question can set the tone for the interview or the conversation. Now, in a professional setting, it's best to leave out those personal details. So consider focusing on your career history and aspirations in that concise elevator pitch. So I'm going to read these both out to you. And Pam, lucky duck you, you are our target audience today. So I would love to hear kind of what you think. Which of these do you think is better? I'm John Doe and I'm looking for any job in tech. I've done a little of everything. I live in Conway, Arkansas, and have two kids. I also like to fish and love Razorback football. Or would you rather? I'm John Doe, and I'm a recent IT graduate with hands-on experience in cybersecurity. I'm really excited to find an entry-level role where I can strengthen my data protection system skills and keep organizations safe online.
Number
Hopefully,
two.
there we go. Yes. Awesome, Pam. Yeah, definitely number two is going to be able the one that you want to pick. Number one would be great for, maybe like a first date, but number two is going to be the one that you want to use in that professional setting. Remember who your target audience is. So, would love to try this out with you. I want you to kind of practice this. For my audience members in the ether, this is something that you can, scroll back to and write this down. But Pam, do you want to give this a shot? Maybe trying out that tell me about yourself question. And I can back it up too if you want me to go to the formula.
Um, no, I don't need it. I can do it.
Okay, let's hear it, girly girl.
Okay. Hi, my name is Pam Pittman Robles, and I have a background in procurement, operations, and customer service. I was recently a senior consultant at Windstream, and I just enjoy roles that have a mixture of data, problem solving, and helping people.
Mhm.
I would love to work at your organization if you just give me an opportunity.
I love that. I love that. This is a good time too, I think, and this is something you can kind of tailor and customize whenever you kind of know who you're talking to. But even just saying, maybe why you're interested in this specific maybe opportunity, or maybe even what you're trying to get out of that conversation. I'd love to know about the opportunities you have in your organization, or something maybe that you saw that was exciting too about that organization. Like, oh, I noticed that you guys did this project recently. Super interested in that. Could you tell me more? But that was fantastic, Pam. You really hit it on the head there. Love it.
Thank you.
Okay, I would love to also pass it off to my coworker, Miss Katie Vereen, because she has a really killer tell me about yourself elevator pitch. So hit us with the
Yeah,
Katie.
I can jump in with mine. So, hi, I'm Katie. I have a background in recruiting and workforce development. Over the past few years, I've helped to connect job seekers with meaningful career opportunities through my recruiting experience and through our apprenticeship model. I'm passionate about helping people find their path, whether that's through skill building, career transitions, or connecting them with the right employers. Right now, I'm focused on using data driven approaches and community partnerships to make career pathways sustainable and accessible. So that's one very tailored to our mission and myself, but followed the same formula as you, Pam. And I think it really helps to create a memorable, a memorable elevator pitch that you can take and apply to different conversations.
Love it. Shouldn't even practice that at all, guys. Just off the nose. Okay, so gonna kind of to wrap us up about, our elevator pitches, want to give you just a short do's and don'ts list. So do keep it short and to the point, no fluff, no filler. Tell your story like you're chatting with somebody, you're not reading from a script. You share the parts that make you stand out. What's maybe an interesting project or a cool result, or something that you're proud of. Keep it casual but confident. Also, definitely practice this. The more you say it out loud, the more natural and polished you'll sound when it counts. I gotta say, like, when you're in the shower, this is the perfect time. You just, keep going, do it over and over until it really feels like you. But yeah, just make sure that you practice. Now, our don'ts. Pretty short and sweet, but basically don't ramble. Once you've hit that 45 to 60-second mark, shut it down. You're done. Think quality over quantity. And don't be afraid to brag on yourself, but make sure that you're not crossing that line from confident to cocky. It's definitely great to be proud of your wins, but we always, love somebody who is humble and genuine. That's really what makes people want to connect with you and, continue that conversation. So yeah, with that being said, though, I'm gonna pass it off to Miss Katie Vereen to tell us a bit about the STAR method.
Yeah, so using the STAR method, and you can see it's an acronym, it allows you to speak about your past experiences in a way that's engaging and memorable. So when you're in an interview and you're getting behavioral questions or even technical questions, instead of mentioning a project you once led, you can describe the challenges you faced, the strategies you employed, and the outcomes that resulted from your efforts. So this approach not only captures the attention, but it also helps the interviews really visualize your contributions and that impact you made. Oh, hit the wrong button. So STAR method stands for situation, task, action, result. So the situation, what was the challenge or the context of the situation that you were in? Task, what was your responsibility or role in that position? Action, what did you do about it? And result, what happened? So it's common to get a question such as, tell me about a time you had conflict. Or tell me about a time you led a project. And you can say, I am organized, I'm good with details. You can answer in a short manner, or you can give them some specific and memorable metrics that they can use. So the example on the screen is in my last role, I noticed that our onboarding process was inconsistent. So that tells you what the situation was in the last role. They were dealing with an inconsistent onboarding process. So I created a checklist system, which is that action, in which cut training time by 30%. That just gives you a much fuller picture of what the problem was and how they were able to solve it with a specific and measurable result. I have a graphic that I have been using. It comes from MIT. They have a good blog about the STAR method that I love. But it really breaks down how much time you should be spending on each of those. Now, I've been in interviews in the past where somebody sets the stage really well, but almost too well. They take like 20 or they over 20% of that time describing the situation. You want to practice your answer so that you have a good idea of how much time it's going to take you to respond, but you don't want to spend too much time setting the scene and then you don't get to describe what you did to really complete the task and reach that end goal. So write it out in bullet points, aim to spend 20% of that time explaining, 10% describing the task that you took. So just touch on what you had to do. 60% describing the skills or goals that you're looking to highlight in the answer. Really keep that end goal in mind. And then the last 10% saying how it was resolved. But yes, keep the end goal in mind. Aim to have a clear and concise response. Sorry, the slide didn't want to click. Practicing crafting stories from different parts of your resume. Think about how you can adapt these experiences. So I know if I had a really impactful moment in my career that was a defining moment, I want to be able to talk about that in a multitude of ways. For example, a story about leading a project can be used to demonstrate leadership, problem solving, teamwork skills. The more you practice, the more natural it's going to become. And the more you're going to be able to tailor that to the different skills that's being asked in that question. So, like Katie mentioned earlier, you're thinking about the experiences you would include in that movie trailer of your career history. What makes you want to watch that movie? What sticks out as a defining moment? Some quick do's and don'ts about the STAR method. Be specific. So provide enough detail to give context, but avoid that unnecessary information. Be sure to quantify results. Use numbers and metrics to demonstrate the impact. Highlight both those soft and hard skills. So mention the technical abilities, interpersonal skills, communication. Creativity is actually something that I hear is something that people really enjoy, that employees are able to bring to the table, and connect the dots. So explicitly link those skills that you have on your resume that are in the job description that they're looking to find to the stories that you have. So connect the dots. Some don'ts: don't exaggerate or lie. So be truthful and avoid making something up or stretching the truth. I know that's something that's obvious, but another way to think about it: don't focus on hypothetical situations. Focus on past experiences rather than what you would do. Now, if you do get to the point where somebody is asking a question and you don't have experience, I think it's perfectly understandable to say, I don't have experience in that. But you can say maybe something that is transferable to that experience. Maybe it's a soft skill. Maybe it's not necessarily a hard skill that would be needed for that. But I would really focus on keeping the experiences true and authentic to yourself. And then don't read from a script. So practice these answers so they sound natural. We offer career coaching services, and that includes mock interviews. And so we were always happy to go through our list of behavioral questions and give feedback and help you craft that perfect answer. So I want to take some time to say thank you, Pam, for joining us. And if you have any questions, we're happy to answer anything you might have. You can also send us an email if you want to reach out to us directly. I totally understand that too. But yeah, connect with us. Katie, do you have anything else you want to add?
Nothing except happy Halloween, everybody. I hope you guys have a fantastic one. And please join us for the next one.